Hey man, I told you you're still in the run for the playoffs right now. All you have to do is just beat the Ravens, hope the Colts lose, and hope that the Chargers and Raiders don't tie.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to this episode of the Trajan Temple Sportcast, the playoff push of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by my good friend, the terrible towel twirling Trajan. How are we doing this fine week, sir? We're keeping our head above water over there, aren't we?
We are. I mean, we're feeling it. We swept the Browns. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year?
There was definitely someone that believed that could happen, but it definitely wasn't either of us. Um, but yes, as he just aforementioned, the Pittsburgh Steelers were victorious in the what will most likely be the home send off for Big Ben this week. So that is something we will be talking about much more in depth. But I will give him the common courtesy of that by taking the falling on the sword first with this week's episode of I Don't Want to Talk About It. And, honestly, I'm not too ashamed to talk about it because, as the true kings of the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, they are just an amazing, amazing team. I mean, there's a reason why the Steelers, the Browns, and the Ravens all bow down to the kings of the North, as Trajan has left the screen there too. So I'll just keep talking about it. The final score, 34-31. The Chiefs fall at literally the last second of the game. A game-winning field goal at basically the 1 yard line for the Cincinnati Bengals. A great, solid first half for the Chiefs. I mean, it looked like everything was just going their way. The defense sacked Joe Burrow 3 times in the first half, so hard that he lost his last name. He had to change identity in the middle of the game. He was just the nameless number 9 quarterback. That was actually pretty hilarious. 28 points in the first half, a measly 3 points in the second half. And a big reason for that, the Bengals did a phenomenal job of keeping Mahomes on the field and their new top weapon. And there was a lot of people that were ready to write this guy off in the preseason for dropping the ball consistently. But Jamar Chase having a career day, unfortunately at the expense of my team and at the expense of my freaking fantasy football team. Thanks, Jamar. You couldn't have done that all year long. You got me 55 points in fantasy this week in a meaningless game at this point. I had a 2-game winning streak.
Man,
Boy, wouldn't that have been great if I made the playoffs, right?
is
Holy
that the
smokes.
first time you've ever done that?
This year. I've done so in the years past, but I was horrible this year. But this is the last 2 weeks of the year. I had a 2-game winning streak. What a way to go out! But yes, a career day for Jamar Chase. Definitely a very exciting future for the Cincinnati Bengals if they invest in a solid offensive line to protect Joe Burrow, because the pass rush for Kansas City was making Joe uncomfortable for the majority of the day. But as I said, Bengals, hard-earned victory. They definitely deserve the win, and they deserve to call themselves AFC North champions. But we shall continue on into the AFC North with a very emotional Monday night football game. And Trajan, I will let you take it from there. Final score: Steelers 26, Cleveland 14.
I could talk about sacks and stats of this game, but I won't dwell too much time on that. As Trey said,
Easy for you to say, right?
yeah, easy for me to say. As Temple pointed out there, we did win 26-14. Very emotional night. It kind of leaked that everyone kind of knew it. This would be Big Ben's last game at Heinz Field, more than likely. Well, yeah, it's his last game. So, no, very emotional night. Defense carried the team in the first half. We did score points in the first half. We knew we had it in us.
It was there all along.
Yeah. No, so we go 10 10-0 into half. I mean, feeling pretty good. We're establishing the run. Najee had himself a heck of a night. He had 188 yards rushing on 28 attempts. I mean, where was that all year? I don't know, but it was great to see. Especially the exclamation point right at the end of the game. We needed a first down to convert to keep them off the field, and then Najee just runs it for like a 30-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, but big night. Been terrible night for him. It's probably his worst statistical night ever in his life, but came away with a victory and an amazing send off for him. The biggest storyline for the Browns is why the heck did they let a rookie go single man on man with TJ Watt?
Yep.
I'm glad they did it. I'm so glad they did it.
He feasted on Baker all night long. It seemed like it was almost
balls.
it wasn't sad for you, but it was almost sad to watch as an outsider in this game.
No, it was. I mean, how many times are you going to leave this guy out to dry on the edge? A rookie. He hasn't even started this year. It's not like he's day one starting rookie.
Right.
He's in there because their starting tackle got injured.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, they did not do him any favors. I'd be calling my agent if I was him. But but yeah, no, 9 sacks total on the night. TJ Watt did 4, but the night was definitely about Ben. He got the right send off, beating the team he's so much owned his career, and I couldn't imagine it any other way.
There you go. It was funny. So they let Roethlisberger kneel at the very end of the game, and I don't know if you caught that too. That Tomlin tried to call timeout to let him have one more kneel down too, but the refs are like, no, you can't do that. It's the end of the game too. So that would have been pretty funny if they would have allowed it too, because they'd be like, what the heck, and then he has to do it again. But, no, you're right.
Might have got a little heated then. With the Browns.
It could have, but you're right. That is it's a great way to send it off, especially against a division rival. And you can talk about the rivalry with the Bengals, you can talk about the rivalry with the Ravens, but when it comes down to it, probably the most historic one will definitely be the Steelers and the Browns. Just in NFL history entirely. And Roethlisberger's record against the Browns is something that almost Brady-esque with like the New York Jets or something like that, right? So it's especially after the events of last year's Super Wild Card weekend, it was definitely probably much more cathartic for Roethlisberger to end the year like that. So my hat is off to a great career by Ben Roethlisberger, and that career's not over yet. There is still a very slim possibility that he could make one more run for a Lombardi Trophy. And so here in just a moment, we will be going over those possible scenarios and see what will be most likely and what will be most doubtful here too. So we will go ahead and switch over to that right now. And as you can see, we have the same thing from last time where we had our playoff hopefuls and playoff doubtfuls. Starting off with our Super Bowl picks, we have the Packers, Rams, Chiefs, Colts, Cardinals, Bucks, Cowboys, playoff clinch, and then we have our playoff hopefuls and doubtfuls, which we will rearrange here in just a moment because there was some clinching that happened during this past weekend, and some eliminations. We won't leave them unnoticed. The Browns, Falcons, Vikings, Broncos, Dolphins, and Washington football team all biting the dust this past week. But starting with our playoff clinchers, obviously the new AFC North champions, the Cincinnati Bengals, will move up. The New England Patriots as well, although the AFC East is still a little up for grabs. The Buffalo Bills are also have punched their ticket right now, and also the Tennessee Titans have also punched their ticket in too. So here are the scenarios right now. We will start with the NFC because that's a little bit more cut and dry. The New Orleans Saints right now are on the outside looking in. They need it's simple as this. They just need the 49ers to lose, and the Saints just need to win, and they're in. And same thing with the 49ers. They win, and they're in.
Yep.
But will be very interesting because we still have yet to get confirmation. Will Jimmy G be back for this week? So that might throw a little wrench into the plan there.
Good.
But as we move on from that, we have also in the AFC category, the Baltimore Ravens. Right now, it seems like it's just a win in their end situation. If they beat Pittsburgh, the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders, same scenario. If they beat one another, then they will end up making it into the playoffs. The Colts, if they lose, they may find themselves just barely on the outside looking in. And then we've got the Steelers. And boy, do they have a laundry list ahead of them. So go ahead, Trajan. Let me hear what needs to happen for your team to have the chance at glory one more time.
So the second coming of Christ needs to happen, and then no. So the Jaguars, who have been 6-0 at home versus the Colts since like 2016, whatever it is, 15.
Right.
Need to beat the Colts that look red hot. I mean, they came off that loss off the Raiders, but they still have a very good team. So we'll see how that goes. We need to beat Baltimore, which I actually feel pretty confident on. We have had Baltimore's number these last few years. We played pretty close to them, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to win that game. But then the last one, which is the funniest, is the Chargers and the Raiders cannot end in a tie. So if the Jags win, the Chargers and the Raiders could literally kneel the whole game, and both of them will make it to the playoffs.
If the Steelers win. If the Ravens win, that might change things a little bit.
Yes. So no, it's definitely weird, but it is a crazy playoff scenario that could happen.
And wouldn't that just be the most ultimate collusion of all time? Just the fact that you would see a whole game just be kneel down after kneel down to, and just the agreeable 0-0 tie, and both take the playoff spot. Which at that point, who would be? I believe the Chargers have the tiebreaker over the Raiders, so the Chargers would probably take the 6th, and the Raiders would take the 7th, which would be if. In the event that the Texans do not beat the Titans and the Chiefs by some miracle, which would be they would need the third coming of Jesus Christ to come by, in order for that to happen, they would get the first round bye. But then they would be number 2, and they would play the Raiders for a third time this year. And boy, wouldn't that be great, just to wallop on them just a third time, just to really drive the point home. But yes, there's our setup right now too. So now we have above them 11 teams that are clinched in their playoff spot right now. We need 3 teams that we believe are hopefuls, and I will start with the San Francisco 49ers. I think they will still find a way to get into the playoffs. Just their sheer determination of how they turn their season around and battling through injury. I think they're battle tested, and I think they will sneak into a playoff spot.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that one there. I think they'll make it into it.
Yeah. And I will let you get number 2. Who do you think will sneak in the second spot there?
Who will sneak into the second spot there? I will go to the AFC, and I will say the Chargers will be the ones in. It's a win and you're in situation. I think the Chargers are the stronger team.
I would say so too. I think the Raiders, with everything that's been going on outside the field too, there's just way too many distractions. And for what it's worth, Justin Herbert, Brandon Staley together, they've had some inconsistent moments, but I think this is their moment where they get into the playoffs, and which actually scares me because they may very well be the 7th seed, and if we have to play them, it would truly be the rubber match between the Chargers and the Chiefs. And this time it would be at Arrowhead, and oh man, would talk about a wild card matchup. That'll definitely be a fun one to watch.
I'd be the biggest Chargers fan.
Well, I'm about to give you another reason because my third team that I think will come in, I think the Ravens will. It will be just, albeit slightly, they will barely sneak in. It will probably come down to a last minute play that whether it's the Steelers or whether it's the Ravens, maybe Justin Tucker with the game-winning field goal right at the very end. I think the Ravens will take that last spot there in the AFC.
So you're saying the Colts will lose?
The Colts may very well lose.
Okay, so you're saying the Colts won't even be in the playoffs?
Colts are eliminated. Nah. You know what? Here's the deal. I honestly do not know. I don't know who I think will sneak into the final spot there because there's just so many variables right there too. And honestly, the Colts, there's no possible way they're going to lose to the Jags. They would have to be just an absolute just explosion of errors on Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor and Frank Reich, and I just don't see that happening here too. So I'm at a loss personally. I really can't tell you who would go because let's break it down here. You've got the Saints that have to beat the Falcons. If I'm correct here, hold on. I'm pretty sure that's who they're playing. I'm just double checking here. Yeah, the Saints have to play the Falcons. So you would think that'd be an obvious one. But the 49ers are also are playing the Rams, and the Rams are really good. So could we see a switch right there? We could see the Saints sneak in and the 49ers are out.
We could. We very well could.
You've got the Eagles who are taking on the Cowboys, and they would need to have a lot of luck on their side. Even though they're at home, they would need to have a lot go right for them. And if it's win or in for them, that's a lot to ask for. You've got the Steelers, Raiders, and Ravens all fighting on that outside looking in spot. So this is the most unique playoffs clinching scenario we've seen ever since they've added this super wild card.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot more interesting. I like how it's shaping up so far. But I'm going to shock you. I'm going to say the Jags will lose. I mean, will win. No. The Jags will win.
That's very shocking. They would lose. But
that was shocking.
All right.
And the Steelers will get in to the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl.
So we will drag the Colts down from Super Bowl. The Steelers will rise up into playoff hopeful, which means we need another AFC team to throw up into the Super Bowl level, and I'll probably say the Bills on that.
The Bills over the Titans with a healthy Derrick Henry?
Well, see, that's where you're wrong, because the Chiefs will fall and the Titans will rise, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah,
you think that's gonna happen?
I hate that because it's the deal. Like, if anything, this last game told me if something is going wrong for Kansas City, if we're not willing to make the adjustments needed to stop the bleeding. If you look at the Bills, they're a dangerous team. You look at the Patriots, they're dangerous. The Titans, Derrick Henry, they're dangerous. So that's the deal. If they would have to really regain my trust in this playoff run for me to believe that they are Super Bowl contenders again. But yes, with Derrick Henry coming back and the way the Bills took care of business against New England, those are my top two AFC picks right now.
Man, okay. Yep. So I mean, it's kind of fitting because the Bills have beat you guys, the Titans have beat you guys, the Bengals have beat you guys.
They have, yep.
I could say the Steelers beat you guys, but I can't say that. Can't say that one, but
as much as let's go back here too. I'm gonna switch this off here really quick so you can see all of us again here too. There it is. Alrighty. Hey, we're back. There we are. So, still learning this whole Discord thing and all that. So, but yep, that's the deal. The way the Bills are, the way the Titans are right now, they seem like they're the teams of destiny right now. And you know, that's what's great about the playoffs. Any given Sunday or Saturday, you never know what's going to happen. The dark horses can arrive from anywhere. The Cinderella stories are always amazing to watch, unless it happens to our team. But I wasn't happy the fact that the Chiefs got flexed to Saturday afternoon. But it is what it is. You just got to suit up and go to work. But that's not the only Saturday game. You've got the Cowboys and Eagles on Saturday night. As I mentioned, the Chiefs will be taking on the Denver Broncos at 3:30, and then it all comes down to this on Sunday. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. What time will this clash of?
I believe it is a noon game.
It is a noon game on that one. Alrighty, so
at Baltimore.
So I will be listening very close to the east when while that game's going on here too. So we've teased the fact of doing a live react for playoff games, but after the debacle at Arrowhead, it's probably best we stay our separate ways right now, at least during the playoffs too. But
I may kill you.
You bet. Yep. just straight up blunt about that. So.
Yep.
But that is it. That is our show this week. We are 1 week away from entering the playoffs. Our first ever coverage of the playoffs ever since we came up with this crazy idea of creating this podcast, and I've had such a great time every step of the way. I'm glad my friend Trajan has joined me every step of the way here too, and we look forward to covering the playoffs as the events develop here. So, any final thoughts before we sign off here, Trajan?
No, it's been definitely a wild ride here, and I'm excited about this playoff. Even though I don't think my team will be in it, more than likely, it is fun just to see the playoffs. There's just a certain amount of excitement about it that you can't beat.
Absolutely. And who knows, if by some miracle it happens, then boy, won't we have much fun in next week's episode.
Oh, we will. We definitely will.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, once again, that is our show. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Click like if you liked the video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends. And we appreciate you hanging on with us to this playoff push. And soon we will push over the edge and we'll be going down the free fall that is Super Wild Card Weekend. And we will be along with you every step of the way with highlights, results, and predictions for how we think everything's going to go. So, once again, this is Temple and Trajan, signing off.